Today I want to talk to you about the principles that helped me go from football player to engineer, and why your next chapter of your life may have already been hidden inside of the discipline you developed in your last season. This is the PercelX podcast. Let's level up.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Motivate. Go motivate. We gotta motivate. Let's go. Go motivate. Gotta motivate. Go motivate. Let's go. 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 Let's go.
The first principle is what I call the blank check mindset. You have to have a blank check mindset, which means that your mind has to be set on committing to pay the price up front. Committed to pay the price up front. When I was playing professional football, I had already decided when I was 12 years old that I was going to the NFL to buy my mama a house. Blank check mentality. I premeditated to pay the price, to go through the process up front. I already had possession of the receipts. The moment in my belly there was a dream to go to the NFL to purchase my mama a house, that was the receipts. And see, this is the thing. When you have a blank check mentality, you already carry the receipts, which means you've already predetermined. See, when you have a blank check mentality and you premeditate to pay the price up front, the receipts are already given. Cha-ching. You have a receipt on the inside of you. If you just grow and operate off of this principle and execute off of this principle, that I have a blank check mentality, cha-ching, I got the receipt. What else am I needing? I'm going to cash the receipt in at my point of destination. Let me explain something to you. If I ask you, where is the future? Most of you would say it's down the road. You can't really explain to me and give me a destination of the future. If I told you to go on your GPS and put in future and press enter and let's see where it takes you, it wouldn't take you anywhere. Because the future is where you say it is. Stop letting other people dictate the future for you. Your blank check mentality is because you've become a blank check to a future reality that already exists on the inside of you. And so what you do internally is you travel into the future. I traveled into the future and I placed my seed in the NFL. And then I came back within myself and I said, now let's be blank check and go get this, cash in this receipts. Let's go be blank check and cash this receipt in. You're a time traveler, baby. You're a blank. You've created a mindset that allows you to travel in time and to plant a seed in the ground where you become a blank check in your mindset and in your thinking that allows you to execute at a high level. But this is the kicker. Very few people execute the blank check mindset. They say it, but very few people can execute a blank check mindset, which means that you premeditated to pay whatever price you're going to pay. I'm sure that's what happens with Navy SEALs. Everybody say they have a blank check. Whatever price it takes, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL. But it takes a special breed who think different, who already know they have the receipts, that there are no other options. So for me, going from football to learning code, learning Python, learning Java, learning C++, getting interviewed for 5.5 hours with Amazon teams. And all the while, check this out, all while going through that, having a blank check mentality, getting diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury, getting diagnosed with memory issues, getting diagnosed with imbalance issues, being in the hospital, have to relearn how to walk, fighting and scratching and wrestling with the conclusion that I already possess. Come on, y'all think it's just gonna be y'all thought this transition was a walk in the park? No. Oh no. I got the receipts, I got the paperwork. Yeah. And it's still not a walk in the park. But when you live in the conclusion, of the reality on the inside of you, and you've decided to become blank check in your mind, The mission is already complete and the receipt is already in your hand. All you're waiting to do is cash it in. What do they do? When you walk outside of Sam's, what do they do? Where's your receipt at? Oh, you have the receipt? They scan it, boom, you can go with the stuff. That's it. You're just cashing in your receipt. You're on your way to the front door. The process of you getting from where you're at to the front door with your stuff. That's the process. So for me, with programming, with coding, I didn't set out really to be a software engineer. I started college as I went back and got my started my master's degree in cybersecurity, and I was halfway through my degree when Amazon came calling. When I went and took the interviews, and after 5 hours of interviewing, you're hired. We'll take you on as a Amazon software engineer apprentice. We're going to train you. Was it easy? Nope. But getting to that point of wondering, why am I learning this stuff? Those questions are going to come about in your mind when you take your first book and open and you start learning coding, when you start learning engineering architecture, when you start learning software engineering, when you start learning CI, when you start learning HTML, when you start learning, you're gonna have some questions. But your blank check mentality being executed pulls you into the conclusion. When you have a blank check mentality, it pulls you into the conclusion. It's a magnet that draws you to the conclusion because you're not willing to stay in one place and be in confusion. You're willing to go as far as you need to go in order to cash in that receipt. Just think about it. When you know you've already paid a price for something, you're not going to be denied what you've already paid for. See, there's a switch in your mind. There's a switch in your mind that allows you to tap into that special you. It says, oh, he already paid the price. He's already paid the price. So let's go get it. He's already paid the price. Blank check mentality. And the thing about software, the thing about learning computers and software is that computers are very stupid, right? They are all that they know is what you tell them. What you program into them is what they'll give out. And so the computer is not gonna care one way or another that you're not solving a problem. I remember spending hours debugging systems. I remember spending hours, not only hours, weeks troubleshooting for one problem. Troubleshooting for one problem, one bug within a system, it spent weeks on. But that's how you get your chops up. That's how you grow your skills. That's how you become better. Is that you go through that process and you premeditate to go through the process. First principle, blank check mindset means that you're going to premeditate to pay the price up front. And because you premeditate to pay the price up front, you already possess the receipt. And because you possess the receipt, all that you have to do is focus on executing your plan. So I don't know where you're at in your life. I don't know where you're at over here. But in order to get over here at a high level, it's going to take a blank check mentality starting out. You've already paid the price and you already have the receipts. Now execute. No matter what the journey is, you've already completed it. You've already completed. I want to encourage you on this journey of transformation. Premeditate to pay the price up front. Go all in. Live in the conclusion. And watch the transformation take place in your life. When you embrace a blank check mindset, you don't know what the cost is going to be. The cost might be humility. The cost might be you humbling yourself down. Right? You don't know what the cost is going to be. The cost may be starting over. The cost might be you have to start over. The cost may be you're going to face some sickness. You're going to face some illness, some things that will try to attack you and take you out of here. You're going to face dementia diagnosis. What you going to do? What are you going to do? You'll have premeditated to pay the price. Nobody's talking you out of it. You already carry and possess the receipts. What's the next step? What's the next step? It may be the price may be you looking the price may be you looking inexperienced for years in a profession where people are doing it at a high level. You may be, the cost may be that you're the one that everybody picks on. The cost may be you the one that everybody gives all the work to, all the grunt work to. That may be the cost. Oh man, they ain't gonna treat me that way. That's the cost you gotta pay. Humility. But whatever the cost is, because sometimes the cost is not just physical. A lot of times the cost is mental. Can you pay the mental cost as well as the physical cost? There's a mental cost, but there's also a physical cost that you're gonna have to pay when you premeditate to pay a price up front. And you have to be willing to pay whatever price. When you choose to take up and to embrace a blank check mindset, not only is there a physical requirement of studying and learning, but there's a mental and emotional requirement. Let me just give you a checklist of some of the things that were part of the price that I had premeditated to pay, right? I had to become humble. I had to be humility. Humility was a big part of it because I was so used to being this dominant person. I had to humble myself down and be a student in the presence of the teacher. It may be meaning starting over. I can't tell you how many projects they told me, you got to start this over, Purcell. This is wrong. You're not doing it right. This doesn't make sense. Well, you're not building how we said build it. You're building how you want to build it, but this is what we said. It sometimes means handling the ambiguity. And what that means is they just give you something and say, just go do it. I remember we were sitting around the table and the manager asked me about, did I know the React framework? I said no. All that I knew Java, I knew HTML, JavaScript. I didn't understand that framework at the time. He went around the room, everybody in the room, all of the other senior SDEs. I'm the youngest in there. And as far as coding, but the oldest in the room as a man. And so he went all the way around the room and then he looked at me and said, well, Purcell, you got an hour to learn React and we need you to fix this problem. Wow. Sometimes being blank check means, okay, let's go. Because see, to me, that translated to me as, okay, you're going to go against the strongest player on the team and we're going to put you in a position where he can defeat you. What you're going to do? I'm finna go get up under his chin. See, in my mind, there's a switch that clicks and say, let's go. And I go and deal. And then sometimes it means really being human. Sometimes, you know, on my checklist, sometimes it means being the oldest person in the room. And having a 25-year-old kid come over to you and say, how did you get here? Having a 24, 25-year-old kid come over to you as a 45-year-old man and him say to you, how do you get here? Paying a price. See, the emotional part of paying that price, you got to be bought into it. You got to be bought into it because you're living your life from the inside out, not from the outside in. And if you want to win, you got to commit to the blank check mentality and take ownership of the receipts that you already possess. This has been powered by PercelX Podcast. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Motivate. We gotta motivate. Let's go. Gonna motivate. Gotta motivate. Gonna motivate. Let's go. 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 Let's go.